This is the Love Campaign. I'm Dr. Henry Porter, aiming at your heart. If not now, when? If not here, where? If not you, who? If not this, what? And if no action, why? It is your day and it's your time. Prepare for the phenomenal. You are sitting there, and there's something that's going to happen for you. Open yourself to the miracle. We're back on the air, and I need you to let me know that you're listening. There were people who said to me, we enjoyed your show. I saw some at various places, restaurants, etc., around the city, banquets. Whatever happened to your show? You didn't support it. I didn't know. And I couldn't keep making those bills because those bills have to be paid. So I need you to generously give and to help and to let me know that you're listening, the songs that you like, the word that you like, how you're feeling. Write me so I can pray for you. Yeah. You want to pray for you and help to bring about the changes that we need in this life. Your sons, your daughters, there are people who are struggling, and I'm not the one that will criticize you because I realize a child can go out into the street running after a ball. The child gets hit by a car. The driver is not at fault. So what shall I do? Blame the child? No. So there's some people who do things in life and they run into the street. They get hit by the cars of sin, by the cars of disaster. Should we turn them away and have no hope for them? No. There's hope for you. I love you. I know I love, and I know it's a strong thing. And so I'm willing to give it all I've got, everything. Giving it all I've got. Now listen to these songs and listen to this word and get blessed and let me know. Dr. Henry Porter, Post Office Box 4321, Sarasota, Florida, 34230. I'll say it again for you soon.
I heard one day, I was standing there at the gatehouse of a prison. And when I stood there, I could hear African drums beating. Seemed like nobody heard it but me. And I heard that music. Then I heard the bass. And I heard the piano. And I heard the organ. And they were playing. They were talking to me. They were talking to me. The call of my ancestors. Speaking to me. The call of my ancestors was talking to me. And I could hear. He's everything you need. You may not feel it's what you want, but I heard them say, make up your mind, make up your mind to go onward and never look back. Keep making tracks to your destination. You gotta go to your destination. There are many who try and many who die in their struggle. They were taken by this, pulled by that, and they never reached their goal. Like water, they gravitate to their lowest state. And I really hate the mind and the state they acquired through their struggle. But listen, you know what? That's all you've got to fight the doubts when you have to make it by yourself, by yourself. But keep moving on. I heard the Spirit say, keep moving on. Keep moving on to your destination. What did you say, West Coast? Keep make it. You can take it. You can make it. You can take it. Never look back. Keep making track to your. You got to go to your destination. Oh yeah. Oh yes. Oh yes. Go to your destination. Go there. I found out sometimes there are people, and I found it through experience. This is what happens. I try to give people opportunities, and I try to lay a platform so that someone can leap from that one and not have to start from just the beginnings all the time. There are people who can give you excellent opportunities, but you must understand how to take those opportunities and how to give back once God has given that. Oh, I've seen. I came to churches sometimes where the congregation was very, very small, but I came to help the ministers. I helped them until they built their large churches. I went and I did other things to make sure that people would know the truth and that the truth could make them free. There were things I was doing so that others could get a leap. Singers, give them a chance. Cut a record, bite the men. But you know what I learned? Do you know what I learned? I learned that there are people, although you give them opportunities, they show you how they will really act, and they will forget about you. Have you felt forgotten sometimes? God said this, don't look back. Don't you dare look back. Don't you let one thing after the other pull you down. This is the time for you to get on your feet again, and that's why I'm here. I'm here to talk to you, to bring you to full victory, to help you to understand some of these principles that happen. Someone says, I want to do it in my own time. No, time is not your choice. Opportunities present themselves, and your choice is yes or no. Yes or no. Yes or no. And this is what you must do. God is trying to get every one of us to walk in another way, the way of peace. For the Lord has said, I would that you should prosper and be in health. Yes. Even as your souls prosper. Furthermore, he said this. He told every one of us, I want you to have life and that more abundantly. And I want you to have an abundant life. Abundant. But we've got to be in contact. You've got to call me, write me, be in contact, and let's get a thing going. It's one thing to be taught to listen to teachings. It's another thing to be mentored, for someone to take up with you and to show you the way. As I said, I've had people I've helped who, like the 10 lepers, the 9, they never turned back to say thanks. And then as God blesses us to do more, then people say, include me again. How could they? Because while you were building your house, everybody thought you would stumble. But I'm going to tell you what God does, and this is why you have to stay in the family. Because God will break the yokes of those that are bound. He'll put you in the right kind of place and show you what you must do so that you may have integrity. I've had some times when I felt so all alone. There were times when I felt all my hope was gone. When I looked for others to help, some of my friends turned their backs, but you were always there, standing by my side, standing by my side. Always there, always there, always there, yeah, yeah. Jesus was always there. Jesus was always there. Always there. You were always, always there. You delivered this soul of mine. You step right in. You've been my friend, Jesus. You were always there when my mind was confused, and I searched for solutions for this whole life of mine. You step right in, and you've been a friend, Jesus. Jesus was always there, always there. I'm so glad about you, Jesus. You never left me alone. You were always there. Ooh, Jesus, you were there. A faithful friend, somebody I can depend on, somebody I can trust on. Jesus, He is. Oh, yes, He is. I'm glad about Him. You see, He stepped in my life, and He's never left me. He's always there. Yeah. He healed the sick, and He raised the dead. 5,000 hungry souls my Jesus fed. Then He laid His hands on me one day as He healed the blinded eyes with some spit and clay. He can turn it around, can turn it around.
God can turn it around.
God can turn it around.
Whatever it is,
God
give the Lord opportunity now.
can turn it around.
It's not when you say. Opportunity is here right now, and you must turn it around. You've got to take your lunch break, like David took his lunch break and killed a giant. You've got to turn your situation around now. Don't look for someone else to do it. You've got to use your faith, like the woman that touched the hem of Jesus' garment. You've got to do it for yourself now. Friends have turned their backs. People have walked away, but don't you dare stand there and say, I can't make it, because you can make it. You and God. Turn it around. Turn it around. Turn it around. Turn it around for yourself right now. Call me on this telephone and turn it around. Turn it around right now. Your financial situation, turn it around. Turn it around with faith. With faith, the woman gave the man of God a little cake first. Why did she give him that? She was trying to turn her situation around. What will God do for you? He will turn it around. The woman whose sons were being put in prison, what did she do? She turned it around. She took the oil and she borrowed. She didn't have enough to make her miracle happen, so she had to borrow. She borrowed vessels, not a few, and she turned it around. Sometimes you got to borrow. You got to vow it, borrow it, vow it. But you got to do it to make the difference in your life. You got to turn it around now. You got somebody you need to contact again. You've been out of contact. Turn it around. Turn it around. Turn it around. Turn it around. It's on you now. It's on you. I've done my part. But you need to contact me. You've got to do it. Turn it around. You've got to do it. You've got to do it now. Because God can turn it around for you. God can turn it around. Do you hear me? Turn it around. God can turn it around. If you will believe, you will believe. If you will believe. If you will believe,
his name. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Operators are waiting now for your call.
Bishop Porter, I'm so grateful for this house of God, the West Coast Center for Human Development. Let me tell you my story. Last night after that service was so great, I said, God, how can I better express how grateful I am? So on the way home, I said, well, maybe if I told it from a different angle, what would it have been like, Bishop Porter? What would it have been like? I said this to God last night home. What would it have been like had there not been a Bishop Porter in my life? And when I got in this morning in the rehearsal, Bishop Porter began to say, what would it have been like? He started talking about, had God not come into my life and through this ministry, would I have been a cripple this morning? Would I still would have been carrying a pillow, walking around because my back went out in 1984? I could not walk, could not sit. And I came to me, drove all the way in from Tampa, Florida. I had heard that miracles happen here. And I came here that night. I got a miracle. But let me tell you this. Desiring to play piano and to be a part, Bishop Porter would be on that organ. And I say, just look like if I could learn, maybe I could help. Do you know God answered my prayer? He began to work with me, and I began to play piano. It's been 20 years that I've been playing piano. But let me tell you something else. After playing the piano for 20 years, being blessed to go all over the world, traveling up and down, here and there, here a little, there a little, like he said. It got to a point where my hands got tired. My hands began to hurt me a little bit. So I went to the doctor, and he said, what do you do? I said, well, I play piano, and sometimes I do music, and I began to explain. He said, that's it. Hands are shot. Don't play anymore. He said, you're playing. I said, what? No. I said, my hands is my money. You can't tell me not to use my hands. I came to the church. Bishop Porter was in the kitchen washing dishes. He was washing dishes. And I just passed through. I said, you know, Bishop Porter, I went to the doctor, and my hands, they're really bothering me. He just looked at me. I didn't tell him what the doctor said or any of that. I just told him that I was hurting. You all saw how I tried to bandage my little hands up because the man told me don't play anymore. I would come with both things on my hands, and it hurt so bad, I tried to play like this sometimes. Every finger started to hurt. During the ordination service, he just stepped up here. I was trying to play that day, and hands was killing me. He said, I'm going to heal you today. That's what he said. And that day, he prayed for me. And I've been playing ever since. Did I stop playing the piano? No. Did I quit like the doctor told me? No, I came to this house of God, West Coast, the Center for Human Development. And then I found out that not only miracles happen in this place, but God will heal you. He began to say in the rehearsal this morning, Margaret Clark, he talked about you today, wherever you are. He said about Margaret. Can you imagine? What would it have been like? What had there not been a Bishop Porter? So you got to think about this part. What was the probability of Margaret answering the phone when he called in from Germany? It was through the telephone call that he spoke a word to her. In that word, she had nasal polyps. What if they had to split her head open? And what if she had to have an operation? Then she would have had to have money to have a plastic surgeon. What was the probability, Keroy, that he would answer the phone at 6 a.m. in the morning, calling all the way in from Africa? What was the probability? So see, when the scripture this morning said you can make your prayer and God will hear you, I made my prayer last night. And I said, how can I better tell a story? So maybe you need to tell it from the angle. You can't praise God because you're trying to figure out what did God do for me. But you need to think about what had there not been. All you got to think about is what had there not been. What had there not been a West Coast Center for you. For you. For you. You will get up and you will say thank you. We'll come in church and we won't have to have, as Dr. McKenna say, spiritual cheerleaders. Because some of y'all know y'all was good as dead, sleeping in your grave. I know my testimony. I got healed. Not one time, not two times, but many times. See, there's another story. God, I remember I went to the doctor again. And they said your white cells are eating up your red blood cells. Bishop Porter was having an oblation that night. I was sitting on the front row. He sent a message out by Cynthia Riley. I don't even know if she remember. He said, tell Dr. Watkins to start the service. I was so sick, I sat there, couldn't move. The doctor said, you got too many leukocytes in your blood. He said, you are about to contract leukemia. I began to think, I said, God, why do you want me to fight cancer? He began to remind me, you forgot what I did. I sat there in that oblation. Bishop Porter came out. She said, Maria is sick, Bishop Porter. She can't even get up. He came in the oblation. He just looked at me. He just looked at me. And he said, you're going to be all right. I want you to know I'm not dead. I don't have no cancer. I don't have no leukemia. God has been good to me.
Hello, I'm Dr. Henry Porter, and this is the Love Campaign. Without any warning, I fell in love with Jesus. I did not know that it would have such a great effect on me. But all I can say is that I love you, and I know that I do. When I fell in love with Jesus, I fell in love with you. Today it's going to be another great time, and expect Jesus to lay his hand upon you. I want you with everything you have. You will need your notebook today. This is going to be fantastic.
Another night I was riding in the van, and I heard this music when I was coming back from Jamaica. It just happens. And when it started playing in my ear, I heard that piano doing that. It amazed me, I tell you. And it said this: I saw your face, I said to myself, that's who I love. Oh, who I love. And I said, how could this be? Such short time, you mean so much to me, so much to me. Heaven is right above my head. I'm feeling lovely and Oh, this love we have, oh, the love we have, it won't ever change. I sat down and cried, thought I'd